I mean, there's definitely something for everybody on this site, and I was really impressed with the range and the quality and the depth of things you looked at. Can you go into a little bit about your upbringing? You know, do you have siblings? What you want to be as a kid? How did you go from having a fight with a grill to running a very successful men's focus website?
A fight with the grill. That's a good way to put it. It's funny. I don't think my upbringing was particularly notable, except for I didn't really have siblings. It's unique because I was raised as an only child, although later my mother remarried, and I do have a half brother and half sister who are younger. And I have an older stepsister, so in some ways I'm sort of the only child, middle child, and all of the above. But I was essentially raised as an only child, and I think was interested in most things that kids were interested in, sports, that sort of thing. Got interested in music later on, but you're right. The grilling incident or happening was a key sort of moment in my life. After I had sort of, become an adult, moved to San Francisco here in California, started my career in advertising, I sort of had this kind of awakening where all of a sudden at work, all I could focus on was grilling. It was like my biological grilling clock had gone off. And for about a week straight, all I could really think about was, grilling animal flesh for some reason. And, I had done it before, just like most guys, get a chance to grill when they're teenagers or whatever. But the fact is, most of us don't actually really know what we're doing. And I think that was the realization that I had as an adult is that, look, I'm 30 years old and I don't really know how to grill. And isn't that something that I should know how to do because I'm a man? And so, I jumped into it and I started learning from friends, got books, watched videos, and started that journey. But as I was starting that journey, I realized that it was part of something bigger. That, this is a skill every guy is expected to know. And as I learned that skill, I realized that there were so many other skills that every guy is just expected to know by virtue of being a man. Things like I mentioned earlier, how to whip up a great cocktail, how to tie a tie. And there's certain things that, I realized that if you don't learn them from your dad or your big brother or your grandfather growing up, it's not like we really learn these things in school,
And how was your upbringing in terms of, did you feel you got the essential skills, the sort of things that a guy is expected to know, or was there a lot that you feel was missing from your own life?
Yeah, I think part of the reason that I was so drawn to this is that I did feel like some of those classic skills were missing from my upbringing. And certainly nothing against my father or my parents because they were always really supportive. Yeah, I think I actually had a really good childhood overall, and I think nothing against my parents, but I think by virtue of the time that I was raised and just kind of my own father's upbringing, I think he felt like it wasn't something he wanted to do where he was kind of shoving skills down my throat. He was very supportive of, when I was going out for sports and whatever other endeavors I tried to get into. But I think, I suspect that his upbringing was very much like sort of that traditional upbringing where your father is sort of the, telling you, you need to learn this, you've got to learn this, here, son, let me show you this. And I think in some ways my father felt like he was a bit more enlightened, I guess, or wanted to have a little bit more of a hands-off approach from that respect. That, again, he was supportive of things I was doing, but not saying, son, you've got to learn this, or otherwise you're not a man,